Hi, my name is Grace Huey,
And I'm Haley Johnson,
and we are both in the Teaching in the Digital Age class.
but we're in different sections, so we're going to be asking each other our 422 questions.
Yes. I'm going to start off by reading Haley a quote from the article, and she's going to respond to it. All right, this is from page 3, and it says, although today's media culture seems daunting, in truth it also provides a nearly limitless resource for real-world learning, for how to identify point of view by comparing guests on the Sunday morning political talk shows to how to determine whether medical information on an internet site is legitimate.
I think that media is like the best resource, especially when I'm typing reports and stuff. I know when I was in elementary school I used to use encyclopedias, and now it's just so much easier to Google it, and we just have so much information right at our fingertips, and if not, we can just turn on the news, and there's so many different outlets to find out information and to like verify information.
That's true.
And then one quote that I found interesting that I'm going to read to Grace is, our world and society is constantly changing. Is this convergence between media and education, between entertainment and learning, that is driving major change in the source and the content of what we learn and how we learn in today's world?
Okay, well, what she was starting to say is what I think is that our world and society is constantly changing. We have new technological developments happens like every single day, and I think our education should be adapted to teaching students like not only how to use these technologies, but how to respond to different things that like we see in the media and stuff like that. So I think that that's like super important part of education that like needs to be incorporated in schools for sure.
I agree.
Through reading this article, it brought up some questions for me and Haley. One question that I had through reading this article was, how will teachers be able to draw the line between using media as a learning purpose in the classroom and having it become entertainment for the students?
I think that's a really hard one that's going to go school by school, especially through different like parts of the country and different communities. Because I know there's some teachers that don't even want computers to be used. They still want like encyclopedias and books to be your only sources. So I think it all depends on the teacher, because I know some teachers allow laptops in the room, some don't. So I think it's going to vary classroom by classroom. And then I have a question that kind of goes along with Grace's question, because I know in high school sites like Facebook and Twitter were blocked, and if media is a learning tool, does that mean that sites like Twitter and Facebook shouldn't be blocked on public school websites?
I personally still think that they should. I mean, I think that if the teacher wants to like teach on something that they saw on Twitter or Facebook for whatever reason, that they should have access to that. But I still think that it should be blocked for the students, just because it's a huge distraction. Like, it's social media. Like, there's not really much critical information that people could even be using in school anyway. So yeah.
True. And then we both had personal experiences that we kind of wanted to talk about that relate to the article. I just felt that when it talked about how media kind of makes us be more accepting towards differences, that one thing it brought up was, I know that on Facebook and other sites, when someone posts something that can like kind of considered like prejudice, I know that like there's so much backlash that immediately comes through that. And I think that media really does teach us how to be accepting, or at least how to speak politically correctly when we are on sites like Facebook or blogging or whatever.
That's good.